Welcome back to our second unarmed stage combat video. Today, we're going to be looking at pushes. So, you're going to need your partner. So, Dante, if you could please come on up. And before we do anything else, we should talk really quickly about physical contact and consent. So in stage combat, we're often going to be needing to make physical contact with each other. And there are certain levels of physical contact. So for instance, one level of physical contact is professional level physical contact. And that involves things like shaking somebody's hand, like this, tapping somebody on the shoulder to get their attention, or standing side by side with shoulders touching. This is professional level contact, and it usually doesn't require that we talk much about that in advance. These are types of physical contact that most people in our society are generally pretty comfortable with on a day-to-day basis. However, if for whatever reason you are uncomfortable with this level of physical contact, you absolutely should speak up about it and explain what's going on and where you're at. So for instance, you might have a really bad sunburn on one of your or both of your shoulders and don't really want to make contact with that shoulder. That's perfectly fine. Or maybe you've got a hand injury. Or you're very concerned about germs because there's a pandemic going on. All of those reasons might be reasons to speak up and say, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with professional level contact. Now above that, we start to get to casual contact. And this is the type of contact that we're going to be making very frequently in stage combat. So this involves putting hands on other parts of the body, such as the back, the chest, or even the head or face, or the legs. And this generally is a good idea to talk to your partner about that in advance, to negotiate and see what people's boundaries are and what they are most comfortable with. Now for this push, we're going to be putting hands on each other's chests. And so here's what you can do to figure out what is going to work for you. So I am going to give Dante my hand, and Dante's going to take my hand right here, and I'm going to ask Dante to please show me on your upper chest where you are comfortable with me making contact. Now, here's a couple keys. First of all, you generally want to avoid making contact on bones and joints. So if I was to grab Dante on the shoulder, I would probably not want to grab Dante on the top of the shoulder, where there's some bones here, but rather it would be better to grab Dante or to make contact with Dante on the deltoid muscle, which is the large muscle right here. Likewise, you wouldn't want to make contact with somebody on their elbow, but rather on their bicep or lower on the forearm where there are large muscles. So on the upper chest, we really want to avoid the collarbones or the clavicles right here. So the hand wants to go below that. But we're also aware that there are some very sensitive private parts of the body lower down on the chest. We want to avoid those too. So we generally want to be making contact in between. So above the lower parts of the chest or the breasts, and underneath the clavicle and the collarbone. So once again, I'm going to give Dante my hand, and he's going to show me where I can make contact, and right there is below the clavicle, and that's where I'm going to make contact here. Now Dante, if you could scoot out into the space a little bit. Now, the next thing that we need to go negotiate is the nap sound. Okay, so we do need to be comfortable making nap sounds. And so what I'd like you to do is spend some time just making nap sounds on your own muscular parts of the body. So you can do them on the palms of the hands, on the forearms, on the chest, on the stomach, on your glute muscles, on the sides of your legs. Just take a moment and see what kind of sounds you can make on your own parts of your body. And you'll notice that it'll sting just a little bit. Right? It'll sting both your hands that are making the nap sound and the parts of your body that are making those nap sounds. And we want to get used to that. Now, we want to avoid doing any damage to these parts of the body. We do not want to bruise any of these parts of the body. But we do want to get comfortable making these nap sounds. So just enough force and pressure on the part of the body that we can hear it audibly. And we want to negotiate that. So Dante, I'm just going to try to make a light nap sound on your chest. Is that all right? Yeah. Okay, so how's that?
That's fine.
Okay, do you want me to go harder or lighter on that?
You can go harder.
A little harder? So how's this? Sound good and feel good? Awesome. Okay, so that right there is a nap sound, and we've negotiated both consent for contact as well as how much juice to give it. Now, here's how the push is going to go. I'm actually going to do it with my right hand. I'm so sorry. Can you show me where on your chest with my right hand I should make contact? Right there. Yeah, okay. And how's this? Good? Okay. So we're going to start off standing facing each other. We're going to make eye contact. Now we're going to use the same type of guided eye tour principle from armed combat disciplines with unarmed. So we start by making eye contact, and then the attacker is going to spot the target while the defender continues to make eye contact. Now my target is right there on that chest. And before I make contact, I'm going to step forward and off to the side over here. So my left foot now is going to be on the outside of my partner's right foot. I'm not here in front. If I'm all the way in front, then I have to really reach to make contact. We need to get comfortable getting close to each other. So when you step forward into the side, your foot should be on the same level as your partner's feet, just offline. So we place our foot there, and then we do that nap sound on the chest. There we go. Now I'm also going to take my left hand, and I'm going to make contact with the deltoid muscle. Is that all right? I'm going to make contact with the deltoid muscle right here. Now as I do that, you want to make sure that you are using a monkey paw or a kitten claw like this. You do not want to stick your thumb into the muscle like this. So in stage combat, this right here is known as hospital finger. This is no hospital finger. So keep your hands in that monkey paw, kitten claw formation rather than jamming your thumb into it. Okay, so one more time. Oh, and you're going to want to come forward so you don't trip into the chairs back there. So we make eye contact. I spot my target. I step offline into the side. I place my left hand on the deltoid muscle. I make the nap sound right there. And then I'm going to weight shift forward. I'm going to sink down and weight shift forward. And as I do that, I'm compressing my arms. Now this is going to give me the ability to give Dante just a little bit of a surge, and he's going to act as if I am pushing him back, and he's going to do his best to sell it. So here we go. Oh, and he fell down. So I am going to ask you not to fall down when you do this. In fact, in my classes, when somebody falls down in an exercise where it's not part of the choreography, I make the entire class do push-ups. So we're not going to fall down. But Dante is going to sell it. He's going to act as if I have really pushed him. So that way I don't need to give him a whole lot of force and impetus with my arms, and he can still make it look like I've given him a really good shove. So one more time all together. I make eye contact, spot that target. I step off to the side, grab shoulder, make nap, weight, wait, I'll give it to you. I weight shift, compressing the arms, and then I push, and then he sells that shove. Now here's some things that you want to avoid. You do not want to miss the compression. So I see a lot of people make contact and then just push like that. That puts a whole bunch of extra force into your partner. It can be very jarring, very uncomfortable. It can be very dangerous. We don't want to do that. We need to make contact and compress, and then use that weight shift to get here, and there's a difference. So I've made that nap, and then now I'm stopped. I've not continued with that force. So it's two separate forces. One is the nap, we compress, and then it's the push after that. Okay, I also don't want to see you just walking forward with your hand like this and ramming them forward like that. That can also be very uncomfortable. So one more time, we make eye contact, spot the target, step, make contact with a nap, compress and push. And so now I'll do it all at something close to performance speed. There. Okay, how'd that feel? Yeah, cool. Now we can also do a push from the back. So Dante, would you mind turning around here? Now this one is going to be a little bit more dangerous. It requires a lot more trust because we're not able to make eye contact here in many situations. Now if it works with the choreography, you can sneak a look over the shoulder to make eye contact before the push, but sometimes that's not appropriate. So, first off, I need to figure out where my partner wants me to make contact. Now for this, we want to make contact on the lat muscle. So Dante, would you mind turning this direction, please? Oh, other way. Turn your back towards the audience. We do not want to make contact on the shoulder blades themselves. But there are muscles that run down here underneath the shoulder blade, to the side of the shoulder blade. Those are called the lat muscles, and that's where we want to make contact. So Dante, how does this feel right here? That good? Yeah. Okay, so I'm still going to make a nap, and I want to avoid making contact with the lat muscle. Okay, so Dante is facing this direction. Now before I make contact there, I want to let Dante know where I am. So again, I'm going to step forward and off to the side, and before I make contact with his lat, I'm going to place my hand here on his deltoid, so he now has made contact, he knows where I am, he knows what's coming, and he can relax and not worry about, oh, when is he going to slap me, where is he? So he knows I'm right here. Now I can make that nap. And then I, again, do the weight shift right here. And now I can push. Now, if you want, you can use that weight shift as an acting moment. So Dante, if you wouldn't mind coming back, as we're here, as I weight shift forward, you can even deliver dialogue right here, like, "Ooh, I hate you so much," before you push the other person away. But do make sure that there is that weight shift in there, and you break up the force of making the nap and doing the push by adding in that compression, where you're not providing any force onto your partner, and you're just compressing towards them with a weight shift. Okay, so if you could please pick one of these pushes, either a forward push across the chest or a back push across the lat muscle. Practice that with a partner, and then please videotape you and your partner performing that push.